Welcome to Blossom. In this video, you will learn how to create a group type of workspaces. There are 5 types of workspaces in the system: organizational units, courses, groups, qualifications, and work plans. All workspaces have the same structure, but different behavior. Let's start with groups, which allow grouping users for a certain purpose, like sharing ideas between users with the same characteristics, such as job title, seniority, or any other common interest. To create a new group, head to the primary menu, then to the Management and Groups section. On the right side of the screen, click the plus button. Here you can specify different settings for your workspace, which are accessible only for you as a workspace owner or other owners that have permissions for this workspace. A workspace owner can be every power manager or any user in the system with group admin permission, which can be set in the Roles and Privileges page. The addition of the workspace is split into 2 levels: administration level, which can be controlled by workspace owner only, and management level, which can be edited by workspace managers. Note that workspace managers can neither access nor edit the administration settings. The workspace manager's creation and editing options will be shown in a different tutorial. Now, let's go through the workspace owner settings. First of all, you can customize a workspace image. By default, the system picks a random picture and you can replace it anytime by clicking on Replace Image button and choosing a new one from the gallery or uploading a customized picture. There's an option of enabling approval process for a new workspace. It means that the workspace must be initially approved by authorized person before it becomes available to others. In order to enable this option, go to the Management section, then to Courses, and click on Manage Course icon. Under Authorized Workspaces of this type or course, choose Relevant Approval Sequence. Note that this option should be enabled prior to the workspace creation. Once it has been enabled, it will appear in all workspaces. After having enabled this option, each new workspace will be created in a draft mode. Once the workspace mode set to Approval, the system automatically starts the workflow process. Note that while the workspace is in draft or approval mode, the users can neither see nor access the workspace. There's also a relevant indication if the group is not active, expired, or under approval process. You can also set a workspace status to active, manager only, and not active. An active status exposes the group to all relevant members in the system if the group is in the range of activity or exposure dates. A manager-only status providing an access to workspace managers only, and a not active status makes a workspace unavailable at all. This status may be relevant in case when your workspace is still under construction and you're planning to publish it later. Note that owners can access the workspace from the Groups table in the Management area, even if it's not active. By choosing a parent group, you can specify relation between your workspace and other workspace, which is considered a parent. For example, you can set your workspace as a new cycle of another workspace with similar activity. Note that you can only choose parent workspaces from the ones that you own. Now you must give a name to the workspace. Note that you cannot give the same name twice to the same type of workspace. Then you can give a short description to the workspace. This description will be seen in the catalog and in the list of workspaces at the Management area. The description can be added to the diploma as well. In the Color field, you can set a background color of the workspace when you scroll down. This color also will be shown in the recently entered sidebar and in the workspace name in the Workspaces list in the Workspaces menu. By checking a Share Ownership option, you allow to share a workspace ownership with others, meaning that all the other power managers and users that had the group admin permission may be able to edit and delete the workspace. By default, the system adds the owner who created the workspace as a primary manager and assigns him the default permissions. In order to set the default permissions, head to the Management area, then to the Management Permission Types under Domain Management, and choose the set of the privileges in the Default Manager Settings window. Those permissions will be explained in the Workspace Permissions Management tutorial. There's an option of tagging the workspace using existing tags or choosing a new one. Tagging a workspace mainly assists while searching workspaces. You can specify a workspace location when it's relevant, otherwise leave this field empty. The location can be shown in reports and in the catalog. You can choose a workspace classification from the set of predefined classifications. It may be useful for better workspaces management, categorization, searching, and filtering in various reports. You can define an estimated budget of the workspace that can be visible in the work plan and executive reports. There's an option of 2 types of syllabus in the system. You can upload it as an external file, or you can write a syllabus in a text field, which will be visible in diplomas, on the Workspaces page sidebar when you click once, and on the Workspaces catalog. If you leave the page, you must save your settings. Now head to the next section where you will specify the workspace behavior. If your workspace activity has a time period, you can set the activity dates. The activity dates affect user accessibility to the workspace. It means that users will not be able to access the workspace before the start date and after the due date. If there's an activity within the workspace, the due date is also the automatic trigger for publishing final scores. If a workspace includes meetings, you can choose an option derived from meetings, which allows to set activity dates according to the dates of the meetings. The date of the first meeting will be the open date, and the date of the last meeting will be the close date. There's also an option to expose the workspace to the users before the open date and leave it available after the end date. You can also set an expiry period for the completion of this workspace. The user will be automatically removed from this workspace once the expiry period has exceeded. A relevant reminder can be set in the Reminders tab under Reminders for the required period. There's an option to set time period within which users should complete the workspace activity. Relevant reminders can be set for this case as well. In the workspace accessibility, you can define the registration type of the workspace. This feature will be described in details in Workspaces Catalog and Registration tutorial. The next option allows to publish users' final score automatically when he finishes the last assignment or attend the last meeting. Please note that if you don't choose this option and the workspace does not have a closing date, the users will not have the final score and the workspace will be shown as uncompleted, even if the user accomplished all completion conditions successfully. The system allows to set a number of credit units to each workspace. There's also an option of obliging a user to achieve certain credit units in order to accomplish a qualification. This feature will be detailed in the qualification tutorial. There's an option to allow users to download diploma or to email a link to diploma after the workspace completion conditions have been fulfilled and the grades have been published. Please note that you should create the diploma in advance in the Management section and then select it here from the drop-down list. Creation of diplomas will be explained in another tutorial. The system allows to set multiple automatic rules for enrollment process based on users' personal fields like language or work details, like job position, seniority, etc. You can set a number of rules, define different combinations between them, select ranges of settings, and other operators. Within the automatic enrollment, users will be included and excluded from the workspace automatically when the rules are applied. For example, if you set the rule for the users with seniority of more than 2 months and less than 4 months, the user will enter the workspace when they are 2 months in the organization and will be removed automatically after 4 months without any manual involvement. Note that automatic enrollment can be applied along to any type of workspace accessibility, and they are usually updated after saving the workspace, saving the user, and every midnight. You can set user amount limits for registration, such as minimum, maximum, and expected number of members. In case minimum number of participants has not been reached, the system can send an alert to the workspace primary manager a specified number of days before the workspace starts. When the maximum number of users has been reached, the system doesn't allow to registrate more users and forward them to the waiting list. The system allows to add allocations for organizational units. It may be helpful when you want to specify the number of members for each unit, or to avoid that all available seats will be taken by members of one unit. You can set unlimited number of organizational units and to include their subunits. This option is valid also in the private and departmental workspace accessibility. In the Reminders tab, you will find multiple types of reminders for different workspace scenarios for users and other stakeholders. By default, all reminders are sent at midnight of the server location. This section will be explained in details in the Workspace Reminders tutorial. In the Mailing List tab, there's an option to define workspaces and specific users, which will get the workspace schedule and the assignments list, if any. If you want to send immediate push notification with the schedule, simply check the relevant receiver on the right side and click Send Schedule button. The Import tab is intended for importing data from existing workspaces. It saves a lot of time if you need to create similar workspaces. Simply choose the relevant existing workspaces or templates from the drop-down list. Check Import Assignments if you want to connect the assignments of the existing workspace to your workspace, or check Duplicate Assignments if you want to create unique assignments with a new ID. Please note, if you do not check Duplicate Assignments checkbox, your assignments will include statistics from all workspaces they belong to. You can also import additional data such as shared content, meetings, resources, and list of managers. The system allows to add quickly and easily new custom fields to the workspaces. In the Custom Field tab, you will see these parameters, but note that they must be configured in advance in the Management area under Domain Management. Custom fields can be added to the workspace-based reports. In this video, you have learned how to create a group type of workspaces. So, welcome to Blossom!